So this right here is what you need in order to have a good, healthy fruit set and to make sure you don't have any blossom end rot. I am excited today. We're gonna go ahead and make some water-soluble calcium phosphate. The reason why I'm so excited is because I can see on this avocado tree that it's getting ready to produce little flowers, and after the flowers comes the avocados. Because I know that it's getting ready to flower, that means I need to go ahead and add some phosphorus. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some bone meal to this. But later on, when these flowers are out, I'm gonna wanna go ahead and give the whole plant a nice little boost. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some water-soluble calcium phosphate. And I'm gonna show you how to do that today, so that way it's ready in 2 weeks when I'm ready to spray it on this tree. All right, so let's go make some water-soluble calcium phosphate. All right, making water-soluble calcium phosphorus is really simple. There's only a couple ingredients. You need a jar with a breathable lid, a measuring scale in order to weigh this out, and then you're going to need vinegar or apple cider vinegar or even rice vinegar. You can use any of those, and then you're going to need bone meal. So now let me show you how you actually make it. It's really simple. It's a 10-part vinegar to 1 part bone meal. Now, if you don't need to make calcium phosphate and you only need to make calcium because you want to prevent maybe your tomatoes or peppers from getting blossom end rot, it's the same thing except for you only use calcium. So you can either do that through some roasted eggshells, or you can also do oyster shells that people get for their chickens. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my measuring cup on here, zero that out. I'm gonna start with my bone meal. So I weighed out 150 grams for me in my 1 gallon container. All right, so I weighed out 150 grams of my bone meal, which means I need 1,500 grams of vinegar. So right here is 900. I'm gonna pour this in slowly because it will create a reaction. All right, here's my 600. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put a lid on this. We're going to keep it in a cooler place out of the sun, and we're just going to let it break down for 10 days. And now I'm just gonna write the date on it so I know when I started it and when it'll be ready to extract out. Now, if you go past 10 days, that's perfectly fine. It's not going to break down anymore or anything crazy is gonna happen in there. Once the acidity from the vinegar is gone and it's been diluted down with the base or the alkalinity of the bone meal, the chemical reaction is done, so nothing else will continue to break down. So if you go a little past 10 days, that's perfectly fine. You can extract it out when you have the time. And I figured since I'm already out here doing this, I may as well go ahead and do the calcium one as well. So like I said, same process. I'm gonna weigh out some grounded up calcium I have. This is 50 grams of calcium. So now I need 500 grams of vinegar. So we're gonna go ahead and add it in. And you wanna do it slow because the calcium does react more so with the vinegar. So as you can see, that's all the fluid that's in there, the calcium is in there, and all of this are the bubbles that are forming because what's happening is the vinegar is breaking down the calcium, and that actually makes CO2 in the breakdown process. So all this is CO2 bubbles as you're making liquid calcium. That's why you don't want to pour in all of your vinegar right away. You want to slowly ease it in so that way it doesn't overflow and you make a big mess everywhere. So you can see the vinegar is reacting with the calcium again. I probably poured it in a little too fast and it's probably going to bubble over. And again, all we're going to do is take our napkin. I'm going to go ahead and write the date on this, and then when it's ready to be extracted, and then I'll just cover this up and keep this in a dark place where it's cool for those 10 days. So that's it. These two right here will help you out greatly with your gardening next year. One is going to help with making sure that as your plants are fruiting, that you're able to give them that extra shot of phosphorus. And because you're doing it through a foliar spray, it'll be right there in the leaves, so it's easier for it to absorb up instead of having to go through the roots where it would need to be broken down by the microorganisms in your soil, and then it has to work its way up the trunk and then to all of your flowers and fruit. And if you have issues with blossom end rot, this right here will take care of it. So with all of your peppers, tomatoes, squash, anything like that that will get blossom end rot, you just need a little bit of this. As you start seeing it flower, go ahead and give it a nice foliar feeding, and this should take care of it. All right, so these are my natural inputs that I use on my own farm, and I hope you found that they were useful. So go out into the garden, go get dirty, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.